All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back with an MLB show. I get it. It's NFL. Everybody's talking football, this, that, the other thing. There's still money to be made in the MLB streets here. Decent slate on tap tonight. Again, we are going to be doing these MLB shows for the next 3.5 weeks of the regular season. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'll be on them all 3 days. My guy Ham will be with me the next couple of Fridays as well. And then Ham and I will be doing the Sunday Night Football Showdown breakdown, which will be a pre-recorded show right here on the same channel, along with all of our other content right here on this channel. Hoop, Tambo, and Title just got off a little bit earlier, breaking down the game tonight, the Brazil game. Patty Mahomes, Travis Swift, the rest of the ball, they broke that all down. So hit over there, check out that video. But, hey, Ham, still money to be made in the MLB streets here. Still a decent slate. We got a Coors Field slate, which is always joyous. We love talking Coors Field, especially when it's the Padres now heading into Coors Field to face Kyle Freeland. Hopefully no one gets ejected. Or maybe if you fade them, hopefully someone gets ejected tonight. We'll see what happens there. Bring you in, man. Happy Friday. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, happy Friday. I'm sure a lot of people did too. But, I had Ramos. I had Devers. Man, I was looking good. And then those two jabronis get thrown out, and those teams just went down the drain. But, yeah, no, it was pretty cool to have football back last night. There's two 100K baseball games tonight. There's a 300K, 500K football game. It's hard to believe, Nades. We're in year 3 of doing the Sunday Night Football show together, and we get a banger right off the bat, a rematch of last year. But, yeah, good week this week. Let's talk some baseball, and hopefully we can get a shipper. And while we're watching some Chiefs and Chargers, should be a good game.
Yeah, should be a fun game tonight. They usually play each other pretty close. Should be a pretty decent one there. Some interesting price points, some interesting plays all around in that game there. The team did a pretty good job breaking it down. Again, all the content will be live on the SHIPIT Nation website. The Stone will be updated, everything there. All of our premium tools, projections, content will be updated as well for that. Along with this MLB slate, I already do have the MLB cores and slate plan up. Feeling pretty locked in going into this slate here. Do our best to talk about it here. We're going to do, like we always do, right? Pitching. I got the dry run here up on the screen. Some of this is going to change a little bit. Again, let me just uncheck Glasnow here, which was going to be one of the talking points of the slate. Tyler Glasnow going into Camden and face the Baltimore Orioles. He had been scratched. It is going to be Shohei Ohtani taking the mound there again for his 4 to 5 innings, and then the bullpen behind him for that game there in Baltimore. So once that gets updated, we'll do our best there, but it is going to be Shohei Ohtani taking the mound for the Dodgers. In terms of the dry run, as it stood, it was a lot of Chris Sale, a lot of Christopher Sanchez, a lot of Tyler Glasnow there, and then kind of fell off a cliff, and it was Angels, the Dodgers, Padres, Boston are kind of the 3 main teams in terms of offense. At least from the dry run, quote-unquote chalk perspective, we're going to see decent ownership on the Padres, obviously heading into Coors Field to face our boy Kyle Freeland there. But throw it over to you from a pitcher standpoint, 8K and above. You got Merrill Kelly down there at 8K flat. You got Cam Schlittler, Kevin Gausman, Pivetta, Pablo Lopez, Gilbert, Sanchez, Chris Sale. Pretty loaded upper tier here, I think. There are some guys we can talk about lower as well. But for me, I think Chris Sale and Sanchez are far and away the 2 guys at the top that I want to play. I'm interested in both of them, like them both. Gilbert's kind of the pivot guy there for me. And then I'm pretty much out on the rest of this range. I'm not really getting to any of these other guys. I'm not too enthused to play Pivetta in Coors Field there. But break down this top tier for you. Seems like you're pretty aligned with me, but what do you see here?
Yeah, I would say I'm aligned with you. I think Chris Sale and Sanchez, obviously 2 of the better pitchers. I'm going to go with Chris Sale over Sanchez just at home. This Mariners team has just been pretty bad against lefties with the Ks. Sanchez is in a great spot too, gets a great ballpark upgrade with just what Chris Sale did in his first, I think it was his first start off the IL, 27 pitches. I think he struck out maybe like the first 3 batters or something in the first inning, crazy like that against the Phillies. So I think he's going to pick up where he left off before he got hurt. Only threw 78 pitches, so hopefully we get up to 85 there. 10-5, he's going to be popular. Sanchez is going to be popular as well. I think one area where I would be different from you is I do like Nick Pivetta. Does have massive strikeout upside. We really haven't seen it a whole lot this year, kind of like we did last year. I know he had 10 Ks several starts ago, but he gets this coveted Rockies matchup. Should come in lower owned in my opinion because Sanchez is just 600 more, and he is in Coors Field. I totally get that, but I do have some interest in Pivetta. Then after that, I'm with you. It's like I don't know, which of these guys I'm going to play. Peyton Toll had a good first game, but goes on the road now in the desert. I probably don't have much interest in him. He was rocking and rolling there for like the first 5 innings or something like that. Then ran into some trouble against the Bucks. So don't really love that. You mentioned what is it, Schlittler, but not taking him against this Blue Jays team that doesn't strike out. So for me, it's really Sale, it's really Sanchez and Pivetta. Then if you wanted to sprinkle in some Gilbert and/or Pablo Lopez, I don't think those are the worst options either.
No, excellent breakdown there. Let's jump below 8K. There's a lot of guys down here that I think you can play. One guy that stands out big time for me is Jose Soriano. DraftKings just does not increase this dude's price point. Gets a pretty solid matchup here at home against the A's team that has has brought a bunch of strikeouts along with their power over the last month or so. Looking at OPS against right-handed pitching over the last month, like I talked about here. You see the A's sitting there at 12th, but again, they bring a ton of strikeouts along with that, sitting at 169 strikeouts over that span, which is right up there 8th most in the league against right-handed pitching over the last month there. So I think Jose Soriano, we know he's a turbo ground baller. I know the weather is good there, everything like that, but at 7,100 allows you to do a lot with your roster. So I like him quite a bit. And then I like Ian Seymour there, a decent amount there for the Rays. Just this matchup here against Cleveland continues to bleed points through the opposing SPs. I'll take my chance here, even with their limited pitch count, at a guy that doesn't seem many people are going to go there to play. I'll continue to pick on this Cleveland Guardians team in general. So those are 2 of the guys that I look at quite a bit down here. I think McGreevy makes some sense, and Mason Barnett down there at 5,800, 5,500. Outside of that, not too interested in any of these other guys, but what do you see down here below 8K?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The guy that stuck out to me was who you mentioned, McGreevy, taking on this San Fran team. We like picking on teams first game out of Coors. Now they go to St. Louis, who I think is a tough place to play. McGreevy, I think his floor is probably around 10 to 11 and has a ceiling of 22 to 24, somewhere in that. If he could get 7+ Ks, I don't hate that. And then you talked about the other guy I was going to mention too, Ian Seymour. All he's done is gone back-to-back with 8 Ks. He did get up to 82 pitches his last time out, Nate, so we do like that. And he faced this same Guardians team 2 starts ago, 67 pitches, got 8 Ks. So, I think one more inning is probably going to notch a strikeout or 2 more. So, yeah, I'm with you there. We obviously don't love the park, but Soriano has been pitching lights out as well. And then you had mentioned Mason Barnett as well. I don't hate it. I probably won't get there. I would probably just get to McGreevy. But I did see him popping on some of the teams I was building earlier. But it's McGreevy over Barnett for me.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown there. I'm kind of looking at a pitcher pool like this. Let me get Gordon's bitch ass out of there. Okay. I'm kind of looking at a pitcher pool like this for myself. I like Seymour and Soriano the most. McGreevy would be there, and then Barnett would be behind overall. So I kind of got it ranked just like I see it here on the screen. I'd probably put Seymour and Soriano ahead of Gilbert, and then put Gilbert in 5th. Then McGreevy, then Barnett is kind of how I'm looking at it. But I'm looking at these 6 pitchers for the most, or 7 pitchers, I should say, for the most part here. I think Ian Seymour, projections are going to be light on him. I don't think many people are going to click it because, again, he doesn't have a K prop up on any of the sites because Griffin Jax is going to open for that game. Jax is not going to go very long. Then they're going to throw it over to Seymour there. So I like Seymour quite a bit. He's one of my favorite options on the board. Soriano is right there with him, and then Sale and Sanchez. So for me, it's really Sale, Sanchez, Soriano, and Seymour are my 4 favorite guys. Then Gilbert, then McGreevy is kind of how I'm looking at this slate from pitcher. Seems like you're pretty aligned as well. Let's jump over and talk hitting. Anyone on Williams? I'm not on Gavin Williams. He always has strikeout upside. His K prop sitting at 5.5, juice to the under there, which is fine. But Tampa's been hitting the ball lately. I know they have some strikeouts in there, but Gavin Williams, has just as high a probability, I think, to strike out 5 guys as he does to walk 5 guys. Are pretty similar there. Our friends over at Ballpark Pal right now have Gavin Williams as kind of a favorite there to record some walks as well. We know what he is. If he has his stuff, he can strike them out with the best of them. If he gets wild, it can be an issue at times there. So I'm out on Gavin Williams just in that range. I like the other guys more. Wouldn't fault anyone for clicking that name. Personally, I'm not going there myself, but anytime you have an arm like a Gavin Williams there at his price point at 7,600 with the strikeout upside he can display, it's fine. But the Rays just have not been striking out much at home against right-handed pitching. You want to target more lefties against the Rays personally than right-handed pitching overall. Let's jump in, talk to Stone. First game on the slate here, Dodgers and the Orioles. Not sure what we're going to do in terms of Ohtani. If you can play him at hitter, he was being able to be played at hitter, was going to be one of the better hitter options on the slate today. Now with him starting pitching, not sure what DraftKings is going to do in terms of what your eligibility is, if you can only play him at pitcher, if you can only play him at hitter, whatnot. I'm assuming you can only play him at hitter right now, just too much for them to change. Dodgers, one of the more popular stacks on the board, but for a good reason here. Weather tonight in Camden, second best on the slate in terms of home run upside here. You got 10 to 15 mile an hour winds the entire duration of this game, blowing out to left center field. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Dean Kramer, been decent, still not a great arm by any chance. And then the Orioles bullpen, not great behind him. Dodgers going to be Ohtani taking the mound, like I said, and then that bullpen behind him. Dodgers, one of the better stacks on the slate, in my opinion here. What do you see here for the Dodgers?
Yeah, obviously you like Ohtani. The full stack to me though was just tough to get in. Yeah, I was just looking at DraftKings before you threw it over to me. Yeah, he's still batter only, not in the pitch pool. Teoscar got benched. What was it earlier this week, Nate? Was that last week that they sat him down for a few games? So to me, it would be more one-offs with Ohtani. That's not like earth-shattering news or anything. It's tough. I don't like righties in Camden Yards for whatever reason. So it'd be Ohtani for me. Michael Conforto, he stinks, doesn't he? Like, I'm not playing that guy. So it's just Ohtani for me. And then Ohtani has gotten lit up a little bit this year. But I'm not going to be that guy that picks on him tonight. I don't think you are either, are you?
Yeah, I don't really love it, to be honest. I think Ohtani, Freeman, Conforto, any of the lefties for me from the Dodgers make some sense. Don't love it completely as a full stack with the other teams on the slate, but as a mini stack, Freeman, Ohtani, Conforto. Freeman, Conforto, I think is an interesting mini stack there. You get some leverage off of the Ohtani ownership there. You save some salary as well. $1,500 goes a long way, especially with a spend up pitcher slate like we have at the top tier with guys like Chris Sale and Sanchez there. So Dodgers are fine. Don't love them as a full stack. Orioles, if you want to leverage the slate completely, you could play some Orioles there. They have the exact same hitting conditions overall on the slate here. But again, don't love picking on Ohtani. You look at him over the last 30 days, Ohtani's been lights out. 53% strikeout rate to lefties. 31% to righties there. If you had to pick a spot, it would be some of the righty power. Guys like Jeremiah Jackson, Ryan Mountcastle, I think make some sense there. Ohtani's allowed some fly balls and some power to righties. Little reverse splitsy action there. But outside of that, not much interest for me on the Orioles side of things. Next game on the docket, Blue Jays and the Yankees. This is an interesting game to me here. Really good hitting weather for home run upside tonight in Yankee Stadium. We know this ballpark is good for hitting in general. Temperature is very similar to what they are in Baltimore, obviously being fairly close there. Some wind, pretty much going to be upper right around 10 to 12 mile an hour, pretty much the entire duration of the game from what I'm seeing here. Temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s for this one. Kevin Gausman, decent pitcher in general, does get tagged up a little bit by lefties. It's not only that. I think Gausman is a serviceable pitcher, but you look at this Yankees team right now, they murder right-handed pitching. It doesn't matter who you are. You look over the last month, second best team in baseball in terms of OPS, tons of power, tons of upside. Trent Grisham, Ben Rice, Bellinger, Jazz, McMahon, Caballero I like even. Overall, I think the Yankees are pretty interesting stack. Nobody's going to play them. I like the Yankee side of this game. No real interest for me on the Blue Jays side. I think Dalton Varsho is an interesting play. George Springer's been red hot, but Schlittler has been really good himself. Don't love picking on him. What do you see in this one, though?
Yeah, Schlittler has been good. You said the Bronx Bombers have been doing just that. I'm not taking the pitcher because the Blue Jays don't strike out. I think the Blue Jays are sneaky Nades. They get the full 27 outs. They've been hitting the ball pretty well. So I like that. You know, the Yankees coming off a tough series with the Astros, you know, just a bunch of crazy different things going on in that series. So to come home, this is a huge series too for both clubs. I mean, battling for the AL East. And then Gausman, I think Gausman's due a blow-up spot too. I like this Yankees team. Where is this Yankees team coming in as far as stacks go? I know they're behind the Padres, but where are they? Top?
No, they're going to be unowned. They're all going to be sub 5% owned, all the hitters. I mean, we have it low owned. People respect Gausman enough. I mean, you look at Gausman's K prop, it's sitting at 6.5, juice to the under, 5.5, juice to the over there. So we know that any pitcher going up against the Yankees is always going to have a good K prop, right? Because the back half of the lineup strikes out a ton, but also brings a ton of power in. When I'm playing DFS, all I care about is home runs and upside from a batter's perspective, even if they do strike out 7 times, right? I'm going to take my chances there. So, yeah, Yankees going to be unowned. I think it's an elite spot to play them here tonight. Next game on the slate, Phillies and the Marlins. This is going to be one of the more popular stacks. Again, it's going to be still behind Coors Field. No surprise there. Not a great ballpark by any means, but Belozo the Clown is back in our lives. We're not playing circus. We're not playing Circa Millions pool. We're playing the Marlins here. We're frying some fish up with these Phillies tonight in Miami. This park, not great, but Schwarber, Harper, I don't think they care where they're hitting the baseball, especially against a guy like Belozo. Doesn't miss bats, walks dudes. Bad bullpen behind them. Give me these Phillies. I would think they're a really good spot. Kind of prefer Malore as like a mini stack, 2 and 3 mans, just because of the ballpark. But overall, hard to argue anything with this Phillies stack in general. Bad bullpen, bad starter, bad park. But again, pretty decent offense in general. What do you see here, Phillies and the Marlins?
Yeah, I love the Phillies. Love the first 3, really, and then maybe the back half, Kepler, Bohm, and Stott. Have some power and speed as well. So no Bader, Marsh, or Real Muto for me. I don't mind the full stack if you want to do a little reach around stack. And then, I mean, I said it, I think, a couple weeks ago, Nades, but look at this Marlins roster. Like, I mean, Jacob Marcy, whatever. Yeah, I know he had like a one good game. Humberto Hernandez. Like, who are these people? Like Joey Weimer hasn't been in the show. I know he's been on the Marlins for a few weeks, but I mean, goodness gracious, like whoever the 8th batter is, like he's not even in the pool. So like, man, Sanchez to the moon tonight. Like he's going to wheel and deal on these fools. And I like this Phillies offense. Definitely no Marlins for me.
Yeah, it's all Phillies in this one for me. Sanchez, my top pitcher on the board. Joey Weimer, hey, former Brewer guy, couldn't make it on the Brewers with all the young prospects and talent they have. Came in for the Marlins yesterday, hit a home run, so he's red hot. So you better run to the window and bet Joey Weimer's anytime. Hit his home run props there. It's probably 11-1 or something like that, but not something I'm doing. Give me the Phillies or bust in that game. Next game, game that I don't love for an offense. Gilbert, Sale on the mound. I think this is more of a pitcher's duel here in Truist Park. But what do you see? Any interest in the Mariners and Braves in terms of offense in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Sure, like if you wanted to do like a Matt Olson one-off, something like that, I think it's fine. I mean, goodness gracious, Ozuna's all the way down to 7th now. Like he's just had a horrendous year. But yeah, no, it's pitchers for me. I'm just looking at, well, the Mariners aren't officially out, but yeah, Sanchez and Sale. I'm going to try to build some teams with those two Nades, and obviously you're going to sacrifice with the sticks. But man, you may get 70 points with between those two alone.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. No bats for me in the Mariners and the Braves. Takes us into minor league stadium out there in Tampa. This is the one spot, I believe. Let me just refresh the one spot with weather. Roth has it tagged as yellow. Nothing too crazy here. In terms of weather in this one, you got 12 mile an hour winds pretty much the duration of this game, blowing in from right center field, which isn't ideal for hitting here. But again, I mean, two pitchers that I think you could play. I was in on Ian Seymour. I'm not playing any of these Guardians. The Rays, I think Caminero, Lowe, Diaz, Josh Lowe, some of those guys I think are fine to pick off against Williams, but this is more of a pitcher's game for me as well. Even despite the ballpark, I think Caminero is a really elite one-off there, pivot off of Manny Machado at a similar position there. But what else do you see in this one?
Our boy Junior Caminero, Nades, winning us a bunch of money a couple weeks ago. We have a special place in our heart for him. Yeah, Avery had asked about Gavin Williams earlier, and I was going to say it, and I didn't at the time, but the Rays at home versus righties all season has been a thing. You know, once again, just looking at this ownership, they're all going to be sub, at least 10%, probably much lower than that. I think this Rays team is super sneaky. I like them a ton tonight. I would have them like a top 3 stack for me. And then I'm not playing the Guardians tonight. Yeah, J-Ram one off absolutely if you wanted to, but yeah, this Ian Seymour kid is doing pretty good so far.
I like Seymour. I will say the Cleveland bullpen has been pretty solid in general. One of the better bullpens, even with them dealing with all their gambling shenanigans, trading away their dudes. They're still a good bullpen. That just shows you how good their bullpen actually was before all of that crap went down. So it does give me some slight fits with the full stack there. But again, I think Caminero, Brandon Lowe are really interesting plays. Josh Lowe or Lau as well are interesting there. And I couldn't fault anyone for full stack, and this team has been smashing the baseball at home against right-handed pitching. Next game on the slate, Royals and the Twins. Pablo Lopez on the mound can give up some home run power there. In general, Royals been really good as of late as well. One of the better offenses in general. In terms of weather in this one, not ideal hitting. Temperatures in the low 60s, upper 50s of this one. There is some wind blowing out, but again, not ideal weather in general. I don't love this game. Waka's nothing crazy by any means. Lopez, not really a huge strikeout guy so far on the season, over the course of the season, I should say, on the road, but I can't get too excited. I will say the Twins are cheap in general. So you could play some of them guys like Wallner, Brooks Lee, Clemens, Mickey Gasper. I mean, this team is free. It allows you to spend up a pitcher. What do you see here in this one? Kansas City and the Twins.
Yeah, let's go to the Royals first, because I do have some interest in the Royals. PD Pablo making his first start in like 3 months, Nades. So they're out of it. They don't have any reason to push him. Now, with that being said, he did throw 80-plus pitches in his final rehab start. But, if it gets to 60 and he's laboring out there, they'll bring in that pin. I like the top half of this Royals offense. You got Vinny Bonds up there who hit like 19 straight homers or something like that. So that top 5 I like against Pablo. And then, yeah, I think you could get some pieces for the Twins. We've been picking on Waka Flocka for a few years now, so I think that trend continues. But, yeah, I like this. I like both of these teams as well, especially the Royals as a low-owned, cheapish type stack. Obviously, you got Bobby Jams in there, Bobby Slams. That's expensive.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Twins bullpen has been absolutely atrocious over the last month as well, which does help. They're pretty taxed as well right now. Hatch is not going to go. He made a long relief start on Tuesday there. He threw 64 pitches. He's not going to be available today. Adams threw 31 pitches yesterday. He's likely out today. And then guys like Sands, Cabrera, the back half of that bullpen, all pretty taxed in general, upper 20s, low 30s in terms of pitch count there. So bad bullpen, pretty solid offense in general. Lopez making his first start back off the IL there in the majors. Things could go south there. I still respect him enough to leave it more as mini stacks. Yastrzemski, Vinny P, I think are really, really good. Miguel Garcia, another pivot off of Manny Machado there. Sal Perez still too cheap at 4K from a catcher position there. So Royals, pretty interesting overall as a stack. I think they're kind of a pivot off of the Angels as well at similar price points. So I don't hate that overall, but not too intrigued in full stack in the Royals here tonight, personally myself. Next game on the slate, Astros and the Rangers. This ballpark has been the worst ballpark in all of baseball for runs and park factor, all of that this season. Merrill Kelly on the mound, Colton Gordon. This Gordon kid is just absolutely not very good in general. Your boy Jock Jams looks like he lights up the stone here in his very limited sample size at home against lefties, but not a game that I'm too intrigued overall from an offense. One of the lowest totals on the board. I can't really get behind this game in general. Not really getting to the either side of this one from an offensive perspective. What do you see here in Texas?
We're running out of Fridays, Nate, to give away a ticket if Jock Jams hits a homer. I think he's 0 for 19 so far on the season. On Fridays, hitting a bomb. I think that streak continues tonight. Someone's asking in the chat about Jordan. Yeah, play Jordan. He's just been crushing the baseball since he's come back. I think you can play him. Colton Gordon is starting tonight. I saw an alert come across, and we obviously have it there as well. But he's getting the start tonight. I'm with you. This ballpark is tough to full stack. It's more minis and or one-offs for me than just full five mans.
I think the top four guys, Hellman, Berger, Freeman, Langford, are interesting from the Rangers because Gordon, you look at Gordon, 17% strikeout rate against righties, ISO approaching 300, fly ball rate approaching 30%, hard hit percentage over 52%, a barrel rate of almost 13%. I mean, I'll take my chances on guys like Michael Hellman at his price point, Cody Freeman, Langford, Jake Berger should be back there. They all barrel left-handed pitching over 11-12% on the year. You can got Ed and Kyle Higashioka there. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stack. Not many people are going to play it. It's going to be unowned there. So I wouldn't hate some of those righty power bats from the Rangers there. I think Hellman, Freeman, Higashioka, Langford are kind of the main guys that I'd be looking at there overall. Next game on the slate, Cardinals and the Giants. Carson Seymour on the mound. Michael McGreevy. We had some interest in McGreevy. Giants first game out of Coors. Don't love it here. Busch Stadium, not a great place to hit in general, unless it's July when it's 117 degrees out there and there's wind blowing out in the stadium. Not a spot I'm going to for bats. Temperatures in the low 60s here. Not a great place. I think this is a slug it out kind of game. Give me McGreevy or a pass in this one. Not playing any bats. What do you see here?
Yep, agree with you. Everything that you said, not playing sticks in this one.
Alrighty, next game on the docket, game that everybody wants to talk about. This is going to be a much more chalky spot on your home over on FanDuel with these Padres, just because these price points are absurd. I mean, 4K is the most expensive bat on FanDuel for the Padres is just ridiculous. DraftKings, it's not much better though. They priced up some of these guys at least a little bit. Manny Machado, 5,900, going to be one of the most popular bats on the slate. Give me the pivots like we already talked about at third base, guys like Caminero, guys like Miguel Garcia. We're going to talk about some Angels in the next game. This is a spot I'm not very interested in overall for the Padres. It's not going to be mega chalk like we've seen other spots in Coors Field here, but I mean, I'm just not too enthused to play this team. You look at this team against left-handed pitching over the last month, it's just not been good. I mean, let me just pull up the numbers. Team ISO of 141, which is your power numbers. Yeah, they don't strike out, but I mean, it's just not that good of a spot in my opinion. They just have not been hitting the ball that well against lefties. Machado and Laureano would be the two favorite bats, but again, those are going to be two of the more popular bats. 5,300, 5.9. I'm not getting to the Padres very much here tonight. I'll take my chances. Padres beat me. They beat me. I'm typically always the Coors Field fader. Not going to change here tonight against Freeland. Overall, no Rockies interest for me either against Pivetta. I just don't love Pivetta's upside in general compared to some of the other guys. Overall on the slate, I'd much rather pivot to Christopher Sanchez for a little bit more expensive, $600 more at lower ownership personally myself. But what do you see here in Coors Field?
Yeah, I mean, no Rockies bats for me. I mean, they project horribly, and Pivetta is pretty good in my opinion, but I'm with you, man. It's like if you're doing single entry or 3-man, like this is the perfect opportunity, in my opinion, to take the Padres. You talked about it earlier. Like we care about home runs, And the Padres just don't hit a whole bunch. Yeah, can Machado and O'Hearn and Laureano and Merrill, they can go deep. They just don't do it a whole bunch. It's more of a fade for me in single entry and 3 max. If I was playing, 6 teams, I may have him in 1 or 2, 6+ teams. But yeah, single entry, 3 max, I'm fading the Padres and no Rockies for me.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown there. Let's jump to the next spot here. 2 games left to talk about, both good games here. One of my more favorite stacks on the slate here is going to be in this next game, the Angels. They're going to be pretty popular in general, but again, I'm in on the Angels here. You look at Barnett's numbers in AAA, 23% K rate, 12% walk rate, which has him at a 5.37 xFIP, a 6.1 ERA in general in 23 starts in AAA. Now he comes up to Anaheim to face the power hitting Angels. Yeah, they strike out a lot in general, but basically league average strikeout stuff in AAA. Now comes up the majors. I don't expect that to spike. If anything, it's probably going to go down here. Wind blowing out in Angel Stadium. Temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s for this one. Bad A's bullpen behind an unproven major leaguer in Barnett here. For the same reasons I just said all of that about the Angels, that's the reason I think you could punt pitcher spot with a guy like Barnett at 5,500. You leverage the slate a little bit, and his salary allows you to do whatever you wanted. I'm more on the Angels bats and Soriano in this one. What do you see in Anaheim?
Yeah, I think I'm a little different. I'm not going to play, or I don't want to play either one of these teams as a stack. I like one of the teams in the next game a lot more than either one of these. I don't love that part. Soriano, was it against the Astros the other night, I believe, was just dealing. And then this Mason Barnett kid, I think you talked a little bit about him. I think he's fine. So, yeah, I'm going to play bats in the next game, not in this game.
All right. Yeah, we definitely differ there a little bit. You're going to be a little bit unique there. Angels going to be one of the more popular stacks on the board. I think you're going to see a lot of Angels mini stacks alongside of the Padres. So if you play anybody else, you pivot to some of the other guys that we talked about, some of those higher priced Dodgers, I think also get played more with the Angels. So pivoting to a team like I talked about, right, with the Phillies, I think is pretty interesting there to pair with the Angels, a little bit different way to play them. All right, let's talk about it here. Erod been atrocious over the last month. I don't know, 7-8 starts of his have been not very good. You got to talk about the Red Sox here. I'm assuming this is going to be one of your top stacks, if not your top stack on the board. I have some interest in them as well. Does feel a little scary having interest in the Red Sox outside of Fenway and against the lefty here, but Erod's just been that bad in general. Diamondbacks bullpen been one of the league worst in general as well, if not the worst over the last month. Going to be pretty rested overall just because they haven't played yesterday. But again, good spot here, I think, for the Red Sox. Full 9 at bats. Not the greatest place to hit here, but decent place indoors. What do you see here? Talk to me on your Red Sox.
Yeah, Red Sox, great play tonight. Bregman is great. Trevor Story is going to be a good play. I mean, obviously, any of the righties we want to focus. Soft tossing, Eduardo Rodriguez. You said it. He's been pretty bad. And then conversely, though, Nate, I like the D-backs a ton in this game. Peyton Toll, it was, like I said earlier, was good in his first start. I always like pitching on a rookie, making his first start away from the friendly confines. Now he goes on the road. This Diamondbacks team has just been crushing left-handed pitching over everything that you look at, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, you name it. They've been hitting the ball. They've been hitting for a lot of power against lefties. Striking out right around 20%, which is decent average. I mean, the guys like Marte, Perdomo, and Carroll, even lefty. I like Carroll a ton in this game. Diamondbacks top 5 stack for me tonight.
Yeah, I think Locklear, Perdomo, Marte, Carroll, Blaze Alexander has been really, really good against lefties. In terms of the Boston Red Sox bullpen, they haven't been great. They're kind of middle of the road in general overall. Been slipping as well too lately. And you look at their usage. They used quite a bit of arms on Wednesday. Zach Kelly went long relief. He's not going to be really available. Bernardino, I don't think is going to be available. Rest of them should be fine. But yeah, definitely prefer the Red Sox side, but I wouldn't sleep on guys like Blaze Alexander at third base at 3,300. I think that's a really, really, really good pivot off of guys like Luis Rengifo, Yoan Moncada, things like that, right at the same price point, things like that. I like to look at little pivots on a more popular roster construction thing. It's not like you're going to play a guy that you never heard of, but playing a guy like Blaze Alexander, who's having a hell of a last 30 days, also off of pivot of chalkier guys at the exact same position, similar price point. Little things like that are all you need to get different in baseball. That's all the games on the slate. Ham, favorite time of the show, your favorite pitchers, let's do top 3 pitchers. Let's go 2 whatever pitchers, and then a sneakier lower owned pitcher. Same thing with the stacks. Your top 2 overall stacks, a sneakier stack, and then a home run call or 2 or 4 or however many you want to give. Got to find the mute button first, buddy. Did we lose Ham? Ham is frozen. Ham, you there?
Yeah, I mean it's Sale and Sanchez 1A.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. Sale, Sanchez.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Ham having issues.
Sanchez.
Go ahead.
McGreevy. Go ahead. Take it from here, Nades. I'm freezing up, so go ahead. Get us out of here.
All right. He said Sale, Sanchez, McGreevy. All right. I'm going to go Christopher Sanchez, my favorite pitcher. I'm going Ian Seymour and Jose Soriano. Those 3 are what I'm doing. Obviously, great play in Chris Sale as well. Those are kind of the 4 guys I'm going in on. My favorite overall stack on the board is going to be the Phillies. Then I'll go with the Angels, and then I'll go with either the Red Sox or let me go with the Red Sox. Actually, sorry, take that back. I'm going to go Yankees, Phillies, and then the Angels. Those 3 are going to be my favorite plays. I'm going Joe Adele for a home run. I like Joe Adele quite a bit here tonight. And then my other one is going to be Blaze Alexander there in that last game. So Joe Adele, Blaze Alexander, Angels, Yankees, Phillies for me, Christopher Sanchez, Soriano, and Ian Seymour. For him, it's Sanchez, it's Chris Sale, it's McGreevy, and then the rest is a mystery because his internet connection is about as good as his lighting on this video there. That's going to do it for us. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Good luck tonight in those contests. Good luck tonight in the NFL streets. If you missed the show, we do have a video right here from Hoop, Tambo, and Title that broke down the Friday Night Football Brazil game tonight. Ham and I will be back over the weekend with a recorded show for the huge game Sunday night on the opening night of football, right? Sunday Night Football. We got the Bills. We got the Ravens. We'll break it all down there. That's going to do it. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be back on Tuesday for Ham. I'm Nades. Good luck tonight. Peace.